Hey Mario, it's Kit. Here's a look at two of your serves that we recorded last week. I'll tell you right now that in the serve on the left, you've hit the yellow circle, but the trajectory of the ball is too high. And on the serve on the right, you've hit the ball towards the yellow circle, but you've nailed the net. And what you want is really a middle way between those two serves. So here we go. First, let's take a look at your parting stance at the beginning of your serve. As you can see, your feet are somewhat different through the fact that your back leg on the serve on the right is off the ground, and in the serve on the left, it's on the ground. And let's take a look at what that affects in terms of weight transfer. So what you've done is you've just moved your weight back, and your right leg, your right toe is coming slightly off the ground. And here you've rolled your weight, and your right toe is coming off the ground at a much faster rate and ends up being much steeper. Ideally, I'd recommend that your weight transfer follows the process that you've shown in the serve on the right, with rolling your weight back rather than just placing it on your back leg. And a lot of this will have to do with rhythm and ultimately the speed at which you transfer your weight from the front to the back foot will also influence the speed that you're drawing the racket back into your backswing position. Now, let's take another look at your movement back, but this time let's pay attention to the racket face. Now, as you can see, as you move into a position where you're ready to begin your backswing, your racket head is in a different position. In this one, it's slightly steeper, and in this one, it's slightly more horizontal. Now, let's remember that in the serves that you've produced, the one on the right, the ball is going into the net, and on the one on the left, you're popping it up into the sky. So let's just note this. Now, as you continue back, you've swung your racket across your body, nice, but the angle of your wrist has changed slightly right here. And as you can see, you've done something similar, but less severe in the serve on the left. Right here, so you can see. Alright. Not bad as far as the movement back, but one important thing that I want to introduce to you in the lesson next time is the fact that when you set up, it helps to establish a 90-degree or close to that angle between your racket face and your wrists. So the racket would be up like that, up like that. And what that will help you maintain is some reference as you draw the racket back. So what you do moving it back is maintain the 90-degree angle between the racket and your arm. So as you move into the trophy position right here, your arms are relatively stable and in a perfectly set 90-degree angle at the beginning of the swing towards contact with the ball. Alright. So, that being said, let's talk about pronation as you go into this shot. You're right in your trophy position, it's great. Now let's just take note of the foot movement though. Look at your front foot in both of them. Here's the one on the left. Right, your trophy position, ready to go. Here, trophy position, oh, I'm balancing on my back foot. Now, let's think about what that affects. Here on the left swing, you're going to pop up towards the ball. I mean, that's obviously what you've done. It's that type of weight distribution into your forward swing has allowed you to come up at the ball. And on the right, where you're stepping, the angle that produces with that step is a slightly downward trajectory in my opinion, but I think you'll notice it too as you watch it. You're stepping and it allows you to come down on the ball a lot more than this type of movement where you can drive up. Once again, it's up to you to figure out what works a lot of the time, because we can talk about position and of the serve before it starts and then right into contact, but ultimately it depends on your perspective and what your swing looks like going into the ball. What helps you aim in your mind, and only you know that as far as what the ball should look like to you to make clean contact. So back to pronation. We got a little off topic here. You're swinging on edge, but let's look at where that on edge angle is right here. Now let's look in the serve on the left. Swinging on edge, great. slightly steeper. So I'm going to tell you right now that when you swing on edge, I will tell you that you do not want it across your body as in the serve on the right. It should be slightly more vertical like the serve on the left, and you want to maintain swinging on the edge until the last second where you allow your forearm to pronate and the racket face to make solid contact with the ball. So here, on the one on the left, you've held the racket on the edge for a while, but you've started your pronation into the ball much before contact. It starts right here. Look at that. Already there. The ball is still dropping into you. So flat racket face means the ball is going to pop up, at least initially during the shot. Here, you've come at it a lot more horizontally, swung right on edge, and you've held it a lot longer. Pronation happens right at ball contact, which is ideal. So I'd say swing on edge in a more vertical fashion and hold that on edge position till ball contact where you've pronated just at the right moment, and this is a timing thing. Okay, so let's look also at how much you've extended your arm at contact. Notice how straight the position of your arm is in the swing where you've hit the net, and how the position of your arm is slightly bent in the one where you've popped it up towards the target. Ideally, for the most power, you'd want to straighten out your arm. That would just allow the energy transfer to be most effective, because it's like swinging a rock with a string around it around a pole. If it's crooked, it's not necessarily going to have as much momentum than if the string was stretched out completely. You're going to generate more power with a straight arm. But the bent arm has allowed you to hit around the ball a little bit. And even though you want to drive up during your serve, you want to make contact and then come around the ball. So that means that you need a relaxed wrist going into contact, and then you allow it to relax all the way till the pronation deflects back and you form that U around your body, which you've done nicely in the serve on the right. And here on the left, you've also done nicely, but it's finished a little bit closer to your body. In fact, you've hit your right shoulder. Yep, there he goes, drops in. That one hit the net. So, last thing we're going to talk about is the tempo of your swing. I told you during our lesson about the importance of tempo when we're swinging the sock around with a ball in it. And you want to match this 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000 tempo into contact. So what I'm going to do is we're going to watch it full speed. First, let's pay attention to the serve on the right as I count down for you the rhythm that you've maintained right now. So I'm going to take it right to the point where you're about to initiate your serve, which is right here. 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000. Not bad. Not bad at all. So you have managed to hit in a continuous manner with a nice 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000 rhythm in the left serve. Now let's take a look at the right. Here we go. I get right to the moment where you're about to initiate the serve. Here we go. 1-1000, 2-1000, 3-1000. Once again, you've maintained nice rhythm. So really it is going to be changes in the angle of certain parts of your body, but you still want to maintain the same type of rhythm that you've achieved right now. I mean, you've gotten the hang of this idea of swinging continuously into impact. Alright, and last thing, after contact, you can look at your feet again and look at your right foot as far as what happens. You've driven into the ball and it's rotated. Rotated. Now let's look at the one on the right. Driving into the ball, you've stepped, rotated too. Rotated too. A change I'm going to suggest is that you allow your foot, your right foot, to come slightly unglued. Not a jumping fashion, but slightly unglued so you can land face on towards the court without having to put stress on your ankle. Ultimately, I think it's a serve which is going to have longer longevity, one which you'll be able to do into old age in a very athletic manner if we can figure out how to just simplify these movements and get you to become nice and dynamic even into the follow-through by coming off the ground on your right foot into the court. So that's what I have for you right now, Mario. So we'll talk about this soon and hopefully be able to make some productive changes. Here, let's take a look one more time at your serve. Okay, looking good. Yep, that's a nice serve.